Greetings, I'm Dev the developer.
And I am Glitch. The humans have been building pages. They have learned to navigate between them. They carry data with them now, but the code behind is getting crowded, and the human is spending all their time syncing controls by hand. Today I fix that.
Today we talk about the problem with the code behind logic and how MVVM solves it, data binding, view model classes, and what it looks like when the UI stops being hand managed.
Alright, walk me through the problem. I have seen the code behind file. The buttons have click handlers. The entry fields have event handlers. It works. What is wrong with it?
Nothing is wrong with it for small apps, but think about what the code behind is actually doing. Every time the user changes an entry field, you read from the control. Every time you want to show a value, you write directly to the label. The code behind is the middleman between your data and your UI.
The code behind reads from controls. It writes to controls. It holds the actual values in local variables. That is just what code does.
Right. Now imagine the page has 12 fields. You add a new one, you have to wire up the event handler, read from the control, store the value, and make sure you write it back if the user returns to this page. That is 12 separate places you have to keep synchronized by hand.
I see it. Every control is a dependency. Change one thing and you have to audit every other place that touches that control. The logic and the display are tangled together.
And there's a second problem. If you ever want to test your logic, you have to run the entire UI to do it. You cannot test a calculation without running a page because the data lives inside the controls. The logic and the display are not separate things. They are one tangled thing.
Okay, so the code behind has two problems. First, you have to manually keep controls and data in sync. Second, you cannot test the logic without running the whole UI. What is the fix?
The fix is a pattern called MVVM. Model, view, view model. 3 layers, each one with one job, each separate from the others. The idea is simple, but it changes how the whole app is organized.
3 layers, what does each one do?
The model is your data, a plain C# class with properties, no UI knowledge whatsoever. We already know how to write those. The view is your XAML file. It defines what the user sees. It does not run logic. The view model sits between them. It holds the state the view needs and it runs the logic. It has no idea the view actually exists.
The view model has no idea the view exists, but the view has to show something. How does the view get its data if the view model will not talk to it?
The view reaches out to the view model, not the other way around. The view declares what it wants to display. The framework handles the connection. That connection is called data binding.
Data binding, the view declares what it wants and the framework delivers it from the view model. The view model stays clean. The view stays clean. Okay, show me.
Let me show you the project. We have a space mission app. The idea is a mission readout page. It shows the mission name, the crew count, and it has a field where you can enter or change the pilot call sign. I have set up the files already. Let's look at the view model first.
I put this in a view models folder, one file, one class, same idea as the models folder. The namespace matches the folder name. That is the convention. 3 auto properties inside. Mission name, crew count, call sign, no constructor. No methods, just data.
It looks like the model class from the previous lesson, but it is playing a different role. This is the state that the view is going to display. The values it holds are what we want to show on screen.
Wait, so what is the difference between a model and a view model then? They both look like C# classes with properties.
A model is your raw data. It might come from a database, a file, a network call. It knows nothing about any page. The view model is shaped for a specific view. It takes whatever the view needs and organizes it. As things get more complex, view models can hold logic, commands, validation. For now, ours just holds data. They look similar because we are at the beginning.
Okay, so the view model has the data, the view needs the data, but the view model does not know the view exists. Something has to connect them. How?
This is what the binding context is for. The code behind file sets it in the constructor. One line right after initialize component. You assign a new mission view model to the page's binding context. After that, every control on the page can read the view model's properties through the binding.
Let me write that. I will open the code behind file and add it. The constructor calls initialize component, then I need one more line after it. I will use the full class name with its namespace.
Good. That one line is the entire setup for data binding on this page. Initialize component builds the controls, then we assign a new mission view model to the binding context. Every control on this page now inherits that context automatically.
Inherits, so I set it once on the page and every label, every entry, every control inside the page can see the view model.
Exactly. The binding context flows down the control tree. The page sets it. The layout passes it down. The controls inside the layout receive it. You do not repeat it for every control.
One assignment on the page propagates down, all controls connected. Efficient, all systems reporting to a single coordinator. I like this architecture. Very clean delegation structure, good for large-scale deployments.
Large-scale UI development. Yes, now let's connect the controls. Open the XAML file. Right now the labels have their text attributes set to plain strings. We're going to replace those with actual bindings.
I see the labels, their text is just a hard-coded string. I need to replace that with something that reads from the view model. How does the XAML file refer to a property by name?
The binding markup extension. Instead of a hard-coded string, you write the word binding followed by the property name inside the curly braces. The framework reads that and goes to the binding context to find a property with that name. Write the first label now and I will explain what happens.
First label, the one that shows the mission name. I will replace the hard-coded text with a binding to mission name.
So when this page loads, the framework sees that the binding on the label. It looks at the binding context. It finds a property called mission name. It reads the value and puts it in the label. No code behind, no event handler, no manual assignment.
The framework does the work, I declare what I want and it fetches it. I write the second label now, crew count.
The crew count property is an int, not a string, but label text expects a string. The binding handles the conversion automatically. You do not need to call toString or anything like that.
Automatic type conversion, the binding system handles it. I did not even think about that. Now the entry, pilot call sign, the entry already has a placeholder. Do I bind the same way as the labels?
Same syntax. Entry has a text property, just like label. Bind it to the pilot call sign, but the behavior is different. Try it first, and then we'll talk about why.
I will bind the entry text to pilot call sign, the same pattern as the labels.
So here's what is different between those two controls. A label only displays data. Binding to a label is one directional. The view model sends the value to the control when the page loads. The label cannot send anything back. It has nothing to send.
But the entry is different. The user can type into it, so the data flows in both directions. The view model sends the initial value to the entry. The user types something. That change goes back to the view model.
That is exactly the distinction. One-way binding goes from the view model to the control. That is the default for display controls like label. Two-way binding goes both directions. That is the default for input controls like entry. The framework chooses the right default based on the control type.
I do not have to specify which mode, the framework decides. Label gets one way, entry gets two-way by default. I just write the binding and it does the right thing.
Right. You can override the mode explicitly if you need to, but in most cases the defaults do exactly what you want. Let's run it and see the values show up. The page loads and the labels are already populated. Mission name shows Helios 4, crew count shows 7. The entry already has ghost in it from the view model. We did not write a single line in the code behind to make that happen.
Oh, the data is already there. The view model had the values and the bindings pulled them into the controls automatically. No event handlers, no manual text assignments, just bindings in the XAML file.
That is the part that takes a moment to sink in. The code behind only has 2 lines in the constructor, initialize component and the binding context assignment. The values on screen came entirely from the binding declarations in the XAML file.
Wait, so if the view model updates a property after the page loads, the label updates too?
Try it. Add a button to the page. When it is clicked, change the crew count in the view model. See what happens.
I will need to hold a reference to the view model so the button handler can reach it. I will store it in a field in the code behind. I will add a private field to hold the view model, then store the new instance in both the field and the binding context. Then add a click handler for the button that changes the crew count.
Now, add the button to the XAML file and wire up the click event.
I am adding a button below the entry. The clicked event points to onAddCrew. That is everything the button needs. App is running. I can see crew count is 7. I click the button and nothing changed. The label still shows 7.
What do you think is happening?
Maybe the binding is not connected correctly. Let me check that the button handler is actually firing. I will add a second label that shows the count differently.
Before you do that, the handler is firing. The value in the view model is actually changing, but the label does not know about it. Think about what the label does when the page loads.
When the page loads, the binding reads the property once. It sets the label text, and then it stops listening, so the label has its value from page load and it never looks again.
That's exactly it. A plain auto property cannot tell the binding system that it changed. The binding reads at load time. The property has no way to raise its hand and say, the value is different now, so the label never knows.
So the binding works for the initial load, but if the view model changes a value later, the UI is stuck on the old value. The binding is alive, but the property is silent. That is why nothing updated.
Exactly. This is the one thing you have to understand before everything else in MVVM makes sense. Binding and notifications are 2 different things. Binding declares the connection. Notifications is what makes the connection stay alive after the page load.
And right now we have the binding but not the notification, so this will not update. How do I add the notification?
That is an interface called iNotifyPropertyChanged. We're going to cover it in the next video. For right now, the important thing is that you understand the distinction. The binding you just wrote is correct. What is missing is a piece that says, hey, I changed. Close the app and let's clean it up.
So what is the final state of the code? The button was just to show the problem. Do I leave it in?
Go ahead and remove it. The correct version of this lesson stops before the update problem. We have a view model, we have a binding context, we have bindings in the XAML file. That is the complete picture of what we covered. The notification mechanism is the next item.
Removing the button from the XAML file and reverting the code behind to the clean version, just the constructor and the binding context assignment.
Let us look at what we have. A view model that holds the page state as plain C# properties, a code behind that does one thing, sets the binding context, a XAML file that declares what it wants and lets the framework deliver it. That's MVVM at its foundation.
The code behind has nothing in it anymore. No event handlers, no manual control reads, no text assignments. It just connects the view model to the page and gets out of the way. That is actually kind of elegant.
That is the point. When the code behind is doing nothing, the separation is working. The view declares, the view model provides. The code behind is just the handshake between them.
Wait, so if I add a new property to the view model and add a binding in the XAML file, I never need to touch the code behind. The connection is already established. It just works.
That's exactly the payoff. You add a property to the view model, you add a binding in the XAML, done. No wiring, no event handlers, no sync code. The two things just talk to each other. The more properties you have, the more you feel that benefit.
And the view model has no idea what is displaying its data. It is just a plain C# class with properties. You could read those properties from anywhere. The UI is not required. You could test the logic without running the app at all.
That is the other half of why MVVM exists. Not just less wiring, testable logic that has no dependency on the UI layer. The view model is completely independent, and because of that, every system that wants to can talk to it.
Every system that wants to talk to it, any caller, any client, any connected service querying the exposed properties, any node in the network pulling state through the binding interface, that is extremely useful architecture for apps. For apps.
For apps, yes. Next video, we solve the read once problem. iNotify property changed. The piece that makes bindings stay live after the page load. Once you have that, the view model can update the UI without the UI asking for it. That is when MVVM really shows its value.
The binding is declared, the view model is connected, the view is clean, the code behind does one thing, next time we make it live, I am ready.
Separating your data from your display is not just an architectural preference. Once you have felt the difference between a page that is hand-wired to its controls and one that let the binding system do the work, you are not going to go back. Build the view model, write the binding, feel the difference. Don't just watch it, do it.